Okay, I knew Ace wasn't gonna get to touch the 100K, but seeing Shelly and Ace get kicked off like that, it shocked me to the core. Just the way they had that date in a hideaway, and how it's so clear that they do have genuine feelings for one another. America's not forgetting all the shenanigans that Ace has pulled in that villa. So let's talk about it. Hey y'all, it's your captain for all things creative coming at you with the Love Island USA Season 7 Episode 34 review. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe. If you're returning, thank you so much for rocking with us. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe if you haven't already. And no, we trying to get to 1K. All right. Nah, this episode was very cute because, again, we open with Ace and Shelly in the hideaway. But, again, that poem that Ace had read the night before, the episode before, still gave that they knew each other deeply before, even when he talked about her being his Cinderella and meeting in New York. It definitely, I think, reminded people of the scammer allegations. That's like strike one, I think, for how the votes went the way they did. Those allegations that, him and Shelly are like in a relationship or known each other longer. Now, Ace and Shelly did admit that they knew each other right off rip, so it's not like they were lying to the audience about, having an initial spark. But that whole, oh, it's love at second sight set them up to look like plants of production because Shelly also was friends with Amaya prior to the show. That's why her and Amaya had that blow up when Amaya got chosen by Ace. And she kind of pressed Shelly about not telling her that her and Ace were more deep than they were when Shelly had been paired with Austin. And that blow up, you know, in the context of Shelly and Amaya being friends prior to the show makes more sense. But Ace tried to paint Amaya as basically a nutcase from the moment he picked her. It's like he put her on a little pedestal to knock her down like immediately, right? So I think also because of how popular Amaya is now, people are also not forgiving Ace for how he treated Amaya Papaya when they were first coupled up. Granted, I think he was one of the few people on the island that always told the truth. So I don't like how fast he switched up on Amaya, like literally the same night he chose her. He was giving her rules and boundaries and showing that he didn't really like her. But at the end of the day, I do think he moved the most honestly out of all the guys, besides Brian, with Amaya. So I didn't hold that grudge against him, but I think strike two for Ace was how he treated Amaya, which added, to the scamming allegations. And then strike three for Ace was definitely how he plotted and snaked Jeremiah. He was the most vocal person, saying that Jeremiah's love bombing Huda and now about to love bomb Andreina. And even Taylor was repeating word for word the things that Ace was saying about Jeremiah. Even when he talked about Jeremiah, he did it to Jeremiah's face, which is why I didn't feel as negatively about how Ace handled it as I did about the way, Taylor handled it, because I felt Taylor was being a follower. Whereas Ace, I feel, and the Jeremiah interviews reveal, Ace had a problem with Jeremiah from since the first day when Jeremiah blocked Ulissa from kissing him. So Ulissa ended up taking Ace from Shelly and kind of blew up his whole game plan because Shelly had chose him, and I think they wanted to do the show together at first. So then Jer- Jeremiah was the first person who threw a monkey wrench, in Ace's game plans. And from that moment, he had been plotting against Jeremiah, making all these rules up about the island, saying everybody's supposed to be open, nobody's supposed to be, coupled up. When this is Love Island, they're supposed to find love. And then he was falsely acting like he was open again by like choosing Amaya, but everyone knew he was only thinking about Shelly because again he gave Amaya all those rules right away. And he was constantly pulling Shelly away from Austin, and Austin did not like that either. So again, strike one is the fact that he always seemed into Shelly from the beginning and they had history together. And he was actually being hypocritical about, all his standards of openness for everybody else when really everybody knows that his heart was open to Shelly, which makes it sad, that he was kicked off tonight. But again, everybody else was looking for love, whereas it seemed like Ace had already found love and was trying to show for 100K, how good of a boyfriend he could be to Shelly when that's already his girlfriend. Even though that rumor might not be true that they're boyfriend and girlfriend, the fact that he knew her before was enough for people to say that they're scamming together, right? And then again, strike two, how he treated Amaya, how he used her, I guess, to make Shelly jealous and to make it seem like he was open and that everybody else was supposed to be open exploring just so he could really focus on snaking Jeremiah at the beginning of the season. Really put a bad taste in people's mouth. And I think for Ace and Shelly, unfortunately, strike three on their relationship was Shelly fighting with Huda about Chris. Now, even though, everything blew up at the heart rate challenge when, Huda did whatever she did to Ace, we find out that the real issue that Shelly had was about not liking how Huda moved. It was like the straw that broke the camel's back because Huda approached her about sharing Chris in the villa basically and acting like bringing Chris to the villa would benefit both of them. But then Huda kind of took Chris to herself and still, was being flirtatious with Ace in the challenge. So I think that's what made people kind of not trust Shelly's feelings towards Ace because after Casa, instead of just locking in with Ace, she was worried about what Huda and Chris was doing. And Alondria kind of betrayed that too when she brought up Huda kissing Chris in Speakeasy. And even I side-eyed that interaction. So the way that Shelly did not lock in with Ace right away and seemed like she liked Chris a lot more, I think was the third strike. You know what they say in baseball, three strikes you're out. So I was not surprised tonight when Ace and Shelly, went home. But I was still shocked. I was still scandalized because, again, you could tell they really like each other. There's real love there. And especially seeing the lack of love between Chris and Huda, it still doesn't feel that right. But at the end of the day, if y'all really care about, you know, justice for Ace and Shelly, especially Shelly, then vote for Shelly's bestie, Alondria, in the final. I've been on the nicolandria train, but now the Shelley's votes won't be split. In honor of our fallen sister Shelly, let us vote for nicolandria because they're the cutest relationship on the show. And especially Huda and Chris should not win, and Iris and Pepe just got here, so they shouldn't win either. my papaya, if she wins, I won't be mad. But say how you feel in the comments. And remember, you're the master of your fate.